What if I told you that the company that made the digital camera also put it out of business? Not only that, but they buried it on purpose. That's Kodak's story. A company that used to be the world leader in photos. A brand that was so strong that the phrase Kodak moment became a part of everyday speech. Still, Kodak shut the door on the future when it came calling. How does that happen? Let's start over. It's 1975. You can't connect to the internet. Phones still have cords. And taking pictures? It's all about movies. Rolls of it. Building labs. Picture books. Kodak has everything. During its peak, Kodak had over 85% of the camera market in the US and made a lot of money selling film. But behind the scenes that same year, something very important took place. A prototype machine was made from extra parts by Steve Sasson, a 24-year-old engineer at Kodak. It looked like a toaster, but it did something completely new. It took pictures with a digital camera instead of film. It was the first camera with a screen. Take that in. Kodak was the first company to use digital cameras. What did they do with it? They put it away. The demo was shown to the top leaders of Kodak. They politely nodded and then quietly pushed it aside. Why? Because they were scared. For fear that it would take away from their main source of income, film. Kodak did more than just sell cameras. They sold movies. They sold poisonous goods. They sold picture paper. Their whole business was based on people having to take pictures. And what is this new digital thing? All of that was skipped over. They didn't see the invention as a breakthrough, they saw it as a danger. They couldn't picture a world where people didn't print pictures and memories lived on computers instead of paper. They didn't lead the way into the future, instead, they defended the past. The catch is that Kodak didn't just forget about digital. They worked on it behind closed doors for years. Patents were filed. Made digital cameras. They never went all in, though. They played around a little, just enough to keep an eye on things but not enough to change their own plan. While they were hesitating, companies like Apple, Sony, Canon, and finally even Canon jumped right in. Digital photography took off in the early 2000s. Film sales fell sharply. People had already made the change. What about Kodak? It was still hard for them to sell rolls of film even though everything was computerized now. Kodak, which used to be unbeatable, went bankrupt in 2012. Take a look at that. They came up with the technology that could have saved them. They were 20 years ahead of the others in the race. They decided not to use it. It's one of the most shocking lessons in business history. It's not just about Kodak, though. Every business should take note. If you don't mess up, someone else will. Culture, not technology, was to blame for Kodak's failure. They were stuck because of how well they did. Sadly, their power made them blind. They lost the whole farm because they were afraid to kill the golden goose. In a strange twist, some of their most valuable inventions were for digital photography, but they never really used them until it was too late. Kodak is still around, but in a much smaller form. They have changed their focus to printing, commercial imaging, and even some crazy blockchain projects. That is, the empire? The story? It's gone. Why did they make such a terrible mistake? They tried to protect the past instead of looking forward to the future. When you take a picture on your phone next time, keep this in mind, this technology wasn't created in Silicon Valley. It was made in Kodak. After that, it was buried. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.